Shelf Sagas, episode 2, it's the card backs. Part 1, we're looking at Rachel Summers, we're looking at Feral, we're going to be doing unboxing, looking at accessories, sculpt and paint apps, articulation, and pose after pose after pose. We're kicking it off with Rachel Summers, aka the Phoenix. She comes with those Phoenix fire wings, flames effects, which are quite translucent, a translucent red to yellow, which is quite nice, you know. I like the way you have to unplug the hands and plug them back in, so it keeps the wings secure, you know, on her arms when you're posing her about, which is nice. She does come with a few hands. I would have liked 2 fists rather than a fist and then the comic holding hand, but I think that's already been said before. The 2 expression hands are good, especially when you're doing your posing and whatnot. We get the comic, which is, you know, the digital print on the front is alright, do you know what I mean? It's very small, so, but it's still good and it's a representation of that. On the back of it, it's just got the Marvel Legends sign. Not much to report there. I probably won't use this. So looking at the head, again, a similar sculpt to the first one. It's got the ponytail and the flick at the front, but I really do like the powered up effect. It's just a different, it gives us different options for posing. That's all we want when if you're taking photography or whatever. That's all you need from a fig. So looking at the sculpt and paint apps, for this figure, it is a generic figure. The thing that separates it from the rest is obviously the little spines that she's got up her, you know, up the middle of her body and over her shoulders, around her neck, down the sides of her arms. Yeah, that's the obvious deco. But apart from that, she's a pretty basic fig in regards to she's just plastic. And you know, other reviews have sort of already reported that, you know, there are different shades of colour because of the different plastics used. I can see it and I know where it comes from, but for me it's not too bad. I think, you know, I've been thinking if you know, spray it with a Mr. you know, like Mr. Clean, I wonder if that'll dull it down a little bit, make it more of a matte finish for the shiny plastic parts. Maybe not. I'll give it a whirl. I mean, the big question is you know, why do you want this figure? Is it to finish the Excalibur team? So you've got it, you know, like it shows on the front of the mini comic or the issue 1, or is it something like I did? I was introduced to her via the comic X-Men vs Avengers. Do you know what I mean? And in there, I loved her sort of arc, and I thought, right, brilliant. I want a Rachel Summers in my collection. Do you smell what I'm cooking? So yeah, that's the sole purpose I bought her. She probably will sit with the Excalibur team. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, representing the UK, but it's just nice to have her as a representation on shelf. So when it comes to articulation, this is the main part for me. I love posing the figures. I love seeing what I can get and seeing what I can create. As you know, the review is in poses. So looking up, she's good. Looking down, she's good because of the dumbbell joint. She gets obviously left and right, but she don't get the, you know, the attitude tilt that people talk about. She doesn't get that. T-pose is pretty good from her. Well, it's proper, you know, it's 90 degrees on the T-pose, which is nice. Bicep swivel, double elbow, and she's got the hinges correct on her hands for, you know, the poses that you'd want with these type of hands. She's got the dumbbell for the diaphragm, so she can do a, you know, hula hoop sort of dance. She'll go back, forward, left and right. Again, limited, you could pop that off, give it a cut, and then make her go forward more and backward more if you want to do that sort of thing. Same with the legs. I've cut my legs a little bit, so she, you know, I've popped them off, and then she can do the Jean-Claude Van Damme a little bit more than she could before, just for dynamic poses when she's flying and stuff like that. She's got the swivel at the thigh. She's also got knee, that double knee joint as we see on everything, ankle pivot and rocker. Do you know what I mean? Normal stuff, things that we see from every Marvel Legends. So yeah, nothing that goes, oh my days, this is amazing, but also nothing that goes, oh my days, this is garbage. So she's, you know, a middle of the road Marvel Legends, and I think for me with this articulation, I could get her in loads of poses. Do you know what I mean? And that's all that counts for me. Do I have a good time posing her around? If the answer is yes, success. Okay, unpacking Feral, popping her out of the box. I thought, nice, this is nice. To have her in the collection, again, finishing a team, lovely jubbly. And like these mini comics do, you know, we get 2 of the same hands. So I got 2 fisted hands, I got an expression hand, and we got like a semi-expressive hand, which is a semi-comic holding hand, but the comic doesn't really go in that hand, so I don't know. The hands are what you'd expect, not got loads of sculpt on them detail, but they do match the character, which is pretty good. And I suppose she has got claws claws for her hands, which separates them from the rest. Not really claws on the fisted hands. Oh yeah, she has. Yes, she has. Take that back. So yeah, she's got claws and fingernails on the fisted and the expressive hands. The mini comic for her is, you know, it is probably one of the best because it's a wraparound. Do you know what I mean? So you don't get the Marvel Legends thing on the back. It's just got the X-Force front and back, which is mint. Do you know what I mean? Again, I probably won't use them. I'd do A4 with her, so I've got it, you know, I've captured it in time, but not really for me, these accessories. So coming to the, you know, paint and sculpts, she's got a really good sculpted head, what we'd expect. She looks comic like, something that you're looking for. Beautiful. Looking close at my paint apps, everything's nice. Do you know what I mean? I can't see anything that mispainted on her tet. So she's looking good there. Then coming down the body, you can see she's using a familiar uniform that you'd see in the comics, which is quite nice to see. All the proportions are there, again, something that matches what her comic look, which is, you know, what everybody wants. The funny thing is for me is when you come to the top of her arms, she's got fur right at top, and then where her biceps and triceps are, completely bald, and then her elbow, she gets a bit hairy, and then, you know, a forearm, hairy bits. And then she's got the gloves on, which is great. Gloves, fine. The sculpt on the arm, the forearm and the elbow, really nice. But why is she not got no fur on a bicep tricep? I don't understand. A tail has a little bit of texture to it, which is cool. Then again, her legs sort of suffer the same treatment as the arms did. She's got the thighs, which are super shaved, and then on the top of her knees, she's got a little bit of, you know, a bit of fur. And then her knees are completely bald, her shins are completely bald, and her feet have a bit of fur. And then when you turn around, same. So her hamstrings, nothing. Calves, she's got her fur on it, and then down, you know, where her Achilles are and stuff and her ankles, there's no fur there. So I guess something that sort of is a little bit lackluster. Do you know what I mean? That sort of attention to detail there, where it's such a good looking figure from, you know, 30 centimeters away. I like the looks of her, but when you start bringing her a little bit close, you can see just bits where they've just missed out and sort of cut corners, which a little bit of a shame, if I'm honest. For me, the biggest judgment is, does it look and feel like the figure that I sort of expect from a comic? I think there's the answer to that is yes. So I'm quite happy overall of the sculpt and paint art. So next leads us to the articulation. I love a well articulated figure, and you know, this female figure is very much like the last female figure in regards to, you know, it has a similar articulation. So I'm going to start from the bottom up. So we've got the ankle rock and pivot, whatever. It does that business. We've got the double jointed knee, which you can see from most figures as the other card back, Rachel Summers. She's got the twisted thigh. Moving up, we've got the diaphragm ball joint. She can lean forward, back. Forward's not great, but back's alright. Awesomeness. I'm going to come out to the hands first. So the hands, again, the articulation that we come to expect from, you know, like expressive hands and fists. In regards to articulation, so we've done the wrist, the forearm, the glove bit does move. Let's have a look, see if there's anything underneath. Now underneath, it's just a glove on top. So double elbow jointed, so she can scratch her ear, or she could do the Hulk Hogan, I can hear you now. She's got the regular T pose, she can get up to there with her shoulders, regular T, like I say, straight up there. So last but not least is her head. She can look up real far, she can look down real far, and she can get side to side. So it's a dumbbell joint, but I think it sits high on the neck, the head, so that it gives you that, you can do left and right, you know, like attitude pose, like what you talking, is if the articulation's good or great, you can get them into poses a lot quicker. I think with figures like the standard figures that we get in regards to articulated figures, like the Feral, like the Rachel Summers, you can get them into good poses, but it just takes you a bit longer to get them into that world. So I've got to say, in all, I do like these two figures. They fill those gaps for the teams and help you complete teams. Though I've not completed X-Force because I ain't got Shatterstar. Hope to bring him out afterwards, or I'm going to have to chase him down. And for, you know, Rachel Summers, like I said, read the X-Men versus Avengers, so that got me connected with that character. And then obviously Feral was in the 90s X-Men animated series where Gambit and Storm and Jubilee were in Genosha in that prison. So I remember seeing her and thinking, oh man, that's another X-Men I can tick on the list and start collecting. So yeah, anyways, do we keep, sell, or put them in a bucket for extras in other videos? Well, I'm definitely going to put these on a space on a shelf, keeping them. Thanks for watching. Catch you in a bit.